Hello friends, I hope you people are doing great. Well, in this video I will talking about the REST framework of Django DRF. In my last video I stated how Django is making use of post and get HTTP endpoints. But in this video I will be performing get with a search operation. So let me show you my PG admin. What it is over here right now is I have an app by the name called product, and by mistake I've created a model also by the same name. That's the reason you are seeing product hyphen product. Do you remember the first one is actually the app name and the second one is actually the model name, the table name, okay? Because Django follows MVT, model view template. So this is my the last product is actually my model name, or even I can show you from my Django as well. As you can see right over here, I have a model by the name called product, and I also have an app by the name called product. In my last video I stated that that there is couple of classes which I'm making use of, and over here I have gone for category dot choices. What this category is all about: this category is a class and it contains some data in the form of key value pair, and I want that this particular data would come in the form of like a drop down, which I showed you in the last video, where the admin panel was been used as a form of drop down for filling up a new product registration. So this is what actually I wanted. For that reason I created this model.text choice, and eventually over here I'm associating it as a category.choice. Once you do this, then this particular model will become as a drop down, okay? But internally, if you look how exactly this data is getting saved by Django, it will be in the form of a list. As you can see, a third bracket is there, and within the list you're basically storing data in the form of a tuples. So remember, when you create a category.choice, I mean this is the name of the model category which I have given. Choice is for in the form of a drop down. When you create this option, internally Django would create something in the form of a list, and within the list it would have a data in the form of a key value pair, okay, where the first is the key and the second one is a value, and that is actually in the form of a tuples. So you can say that category.choice would create a Python list of tuples, and this is very important because later on you will, when I will go through this particular code, you will see that if even though Django is storing in the form of a list of tuples, but this is not the right format for data manipulation, or when you're performing a search operation it would create some problem, and how do we resolve that problem is what I will be talking about inside this query right over here. So let me show you the endpoints. As you can see from the from my PG admin, that I have got over here the product name, TV, computer, table, AC, and over here there are two things are there. One is called brand and one is called category. So the category is coming from the drop down which you just now saw right over here. So like electronic, laptop, phone, these are the values for the following category, and that's what you are seeing over here. So I have got a category home which has got three different product right over here, you can see, and even the product brand name are different. Like I have a category home with the brand name of LG. Similarly, the same category, another brand name is called Mobifix. So the same category can have multiple brand also, and this will become a very important search criteria, that whether that particular brand exists for a given category or not. Don't worry, we will come across those things as well. So this is what currently you are seeing in my PG admin in my PostgreSQL, and now we move on to the Postman to perform the initial search operation. So first of all, last video I talked about the get API that which will show me the data which is existing for all the products, but in this video I was talking about specific product for a particular category. So that is what this particular API view is all about. Here also the data is coming in the form of from the front end the data would be coming, and for that reason I'm performing a get operation, and it will not insert any data in the database, it will just perform a query. So how are we doing that? Let me show you the endpoints. This is the app endpoint, and over here we have got the project level endpoint. So initially it will start with app slash, and eventually it will come to this particular application, this particular app, and then there would be a query string would be something like this. The search query, I mean to say the URL string would be something like this, that the search slash category, and here you have to write the category name. Now please take a minute note on this part, because this is something which is very important. Look over here how the query parameter has been written. Since I'm going to take a string data, because these are all string data, electronic laptop phone, for that reason I have declared a string variable, and this is the variable name. You are free to choose whatever variable name you want, but it should have some similarity with the task which you are doing, and this particular variable is of type string, and that's what I have written over here. So do I mean that time to time this content of the variable will vary? Of course it's going to be different each time you run, because you have to perform a search operation. So you might provide at one point of time a category called laptop. Similarly, you might provide another category called home at some point of time. So this particular variable would be holding data as like based on the what such category the user wants. So once the data has been filled up, it will give a call to this particular endpoint, this particular method, and eventually the control will come right over here. So as you can see over here, this variable has, I mean this particular method has got an extra argument called category, and this is the same category which you just now saw in the URL string right over here. So whatever input that the user will provide along with the URL, or I mean to say like the URL plus the query parameter, that would come and get stored over here. Let me show you in the Postman, then it will be very much easy. This is the last video's endpoint where I'm fetching all the record from that is there. Okay, let me list up. Okay, this is not the one, sorry. Let me show you. This is the search criteria, and this is a list of product. Let me run the application, and why it is not working? Oh, I have stopped my application. That's the reason. Let me start the server first. So python manage.py run server. I hit the enter, and here my application starts right now. Let's come over here and let's hit the endpoint. As I do that, bingo, you are seeing all the record that is in the PG admin. There are total 4 records are there, and you are seeing the very first object right over here, the second object, the third object, and the fourth object. You are seeing all the four objects inside the array. Okay, so that's how the data has been shown, and this endpoint we have discussed in the last video. Now let's come to the today's endpoint. So API API URL is there along with the search, and then the category. And here I need to give a category name. So what category name I will give, that will get stored inside this variable. So let's go and check it out. As I have a category called, okay, let's do one thing first. Let me give a category which actually does not exist. Like over here I would choose up some term which is not over here. Like for example, I go for the term called furniture, and I don't have any such value or any such key by the name called furniture, right? So in that case, what happened? Furniture. Let's see now this point of time. I hit the enter, and here I'm getting a response in the form of JSON. That's really nice. It's saying that the furniture is not a valid category. Let's see where from this response is coming. So the data came over here to this particular method. The furniture term which you have given, that got stored inside this variable called category. And as I was saying few minutes ago, that when you are storing data in the form of a drop down, by default Python will store the data in the form of a list of tuples, and I need to convert it into dictionary for performing my query operation. So for that reason, category.choice, this choice is actually, I'm talking about this category.choice, so that I need to convert it into dictionary. When I do that, it would be in the form of a key value pair, and that helps in performing search operation. So I'm saying, okay, by the way, I have made use of try catch block exception handling in if any kind of issue takes place, for that prevention, because you're performing a database operation. So it's always a good practice to perform the search operation within the exception handling block. So over here what I did, I just converted my list of tuples into the dictionary, and then I'm checking that whether the given category name which I mentioned over here really exists in this particular dictionary. And in my case, since I gave the dictionary the key called furniture, which is not available, that's the reason I would be getting the response error, and error is a key, and here the category name comes. So that furniture is not a valid category, which you just now saw right over here. Really nice, isn't that? So sweet. So that's how the first checking you have done it. Now let's move on to the next part. What if I give a category name that really exists? Fine, so let's come over here and let's see. We have got different categories right over here. but these categories are all registered. What if I pick up a category which is actually there, but right now no product has been registered? Like for example, the category called food category is there, but as you can see in the list, or you can see in the PG admin, there is no category by the name called food, but in fact in the database the food category will exist. So in that case, what happens? Category is valid, but there is no product. How about that? Okay, let me write in lowercase food. So let's see what happened this time, and this time message gets changed. Okay, it's saying that food is not a valid. Why are you saying that? Oh, I've written in uppercase. So let me write this in uppercase to see whether it's really working or not. Still is saying food is not a valid category. Okay, why? Let me just go and check it out. Oh, F is in uppercase and rest are in lowercase. Okay, fine, let's go with that format. Let's see whether that is going to work or not. So food, and let me write now. Yes, see, it's actually a case sensitive one. That's the reason you are getting that particular message. And remember, the data will come in the drop down, so you don't have to write the data, but since I'm showing it from the postman view perspective, that's the reason I have to write, and you saw that it is actually a case sensitive one. So now it is saying that no product found in the food category. Look at the message. It is not telling that you give some error, you met some error. It's not like that. It's just a message that yes, the food is a valid category, but right now there is no product registered under that particular category. So that is what happening over here. So we did this search operation. So product is my model name, dot object dot filter, the parameter is the category, and the input which you have given is the food that is stored inside this variable. It did a search operation, but it got an empty data set, because there is no product by the name which is registered under the category called food. And eventually what happened there, it does not exist. So if not exist, so you will get this message, no product found in the category food, and that's it. Okay, so this is also a very important way of searching where the category is valid, but unfortunately there is no product that is registered for the given category. That also can be possible. And the third scenario would be the category is valid, at the same time product does register. How about that? Let's go and check it out. Again, the same thing over here. As you can see, I have a category called home, so this time I will give the input called home. So do remember, when you are writing the URL or when you're writing your search parameter, whatever value you have given, that actually has been taken count. Just like last time I did all in uppercase, but that didn't work. But when I did this mixed case, it actually worked out. So I will go and I will write over here, this time by the name called home. Okay, where first letter is uppercase and lowercase. And now let's perform the search operation. Bingo! As I did the search operation, I got exactly 3 objects, and I should get 3 objects because as you can see over here, I have got 3 tuples that is registered under the category home. The first one is LG, the second one is Mobifix, and third one is also LG. So that's the reason why in the postman you were seeing 3 different objects. So let me see all the objects correctly. ID is 1, ID is 3, and ID is 4. As you can see right over here, the ID is 1, the ID is 3, and ID is 4. So how exactly this is working? Let's go and check it out. So in this case, the else condition is true because you do have a product under the following category. So the following statement gets printed, and this is very important. Let me show you the statement where you will be able to see the statement in the console, in the terminal. As you can see, I have mentioned the category home, so that's the reason this print statement is showing. As you can see right over here, what I have written, I've written that the category home has the following product. That is what written over here. Category home has following product, and the reason why I wrote this print statement, do you know why? I wanted to show you that when you perform a search operation, what actually you get the data. You get the data in the form of a query set. Remember, in my last video I talked about serialization, and this is very important topic. You are storing data in your Postgres on inside your RDBMS, inside your SQL format, but when you're working on Python, when you're working on Django, that format is not the right representation. So what you need to do is that you have to translate your query set format into Django format, and for that reason you need serialization, which I actually done over here. So inside the serialization file, you actually do the kind of conversion of the product, which is basically in the form of SQL, in the form of a JSON format, and that's the reason why I gave a call to this statement right over here. So from this printf statement, I wanted to show you that when you get the data from a database, it's always in the form of query set. And look over here, I have got 3 different instances. This is the product TV, this is the product table, and this is the product AC, because if you see over here, I have got one TV under home, I have got table under home, I have got AC under home. So for that reason you are seeing three different objects, but that is in the form of a query set, which is not at all convenient format to be printed in Python. So for that reason what we have to do is that I have to give a call to the product serializer. Eventually the control will come right over here, and it does perform the conversion into the Python format or in the JSON format that can be easily visible for the endpoint, for the front end point. So that object is coming over here, and that what I'm redirecting. So this becomes a key, and the entire data, because remember inside this you have got multiple objects, so that becomes the object set, and that's what you are seeing. As you can see over here, initially it's an object, but over here I have a key called product, and this whole data is in the form of an array where these are individual objects, and that's what the serializer does. A wonderful concept. It's actually makes our task so easy, because once you have got the data in the form of an array of objects, now you can represent the data in the front end, whether you're working on Angular, React, or Android, iOS, wherever it is, your representation will be much easier. So that's how the serializer is working. And in case if there was some kind of network issue, then this particular exception block will get executed. Right now that's not happening. We are seeing the data very smoothly. Hence in this particular video we saw that how do you perform a search operation on particular field. But this is just one of the video. In my next video I'll be talking about how do you have a filter with multiple combinations of parameters. Just now you saw only one, but what will happen if I want to give a category name, I have to specify the brand name, even a price range. What would be the implementation procedure? That would be the content of my next video. So please stay tuned and do watch Django framework. It is undoubtedly will help you a lot. Okay, see you in the next video. Until then, have a nice time. Bye bye.